So here's my latest fiddle technique practice. We're trying to establish a loose bass line for the wrist because maintaining minimal wrist tension is what's going to lead to good playing and pleasant playing. So here's what I do. Drop the shoulders. Flap the hands around a little bit manically. Oh, I'm fucking spazzing out, dude. Feel the buzzing in your fingertips? That's what you want. Now you've told your hand to wake up. God damn, you are lovely today. Oh, you look so good. Compliment your organs. Damn, stomach, you're digesting so well today. You did such a good job, and so forth. All this hippie bullshit. Because you're treating your hand like a slave. Eventually, your hand will fuck your wife or something similarly diabolical. You don't want that. You want to be friends with your hand. So we have a nice floppy. Look at that. Wow! A nice floppy hand. Moving my shoulder. Now I'm just moving my forearm. Practicing just moving my forearm. Feeling those muscles in my forearm go back and forth. A little bit of shoulder action. Drop the shoulder. Imagine that your hand is like a doll's hand that's attached to you, but does not belong to you. But nonetheless, you maintain great sensitivity of feeling in your hand, but it doesn't belong to you, it's not yours. It's floppy, it's loose, like a marionette on frayed strings. That's how your hand should feel. In fact, what you can do to simulate the feeling of minimal tension is use one hand to move the forearm around and observe their flopping wrist. That is just how loose your hand can be. Oh, he hates me. Oh, and I love you. I love you. Ah, I hate you. I want to kill you. Don't hate your hand, even when it doesn't do what you want it to do. Eventually, you've got to come to good terms with your organs, and especially your hand if you want to be a musician. So, don't shake your arm like you're trying to throttle your worst enemy. Shake it around. Vulgar metaphor comes to mind. Shake it around like a dog wagging its tail. If you can, see if you can actually feel like a dog wagging its tail. All the joy one assumes that a dog feels like in its tailbone when it's doing that. That should be your joy too. Anyways, now we've done that for a bit. The next thing to do is connect the tip of the thumb to the first crease right here on your middle finger, like a medieval hierarch. Just the tip of the thumb. None of this shit. Just the tip of the thumb. You want to minimize the surface area on your thumb that's actually in contact with this finger. Very gently. Now, open the fingers up. Let them relax. Open them up. Now, there's some division as to which cycle of the breath you should relax on. Some say the common notion is exhaling is the most relaxed part of the breath cycle. Others say, and I tend to take this view too, that the exhale is the properly relaxed part of the cycle, because I'm going to show you my tummy. When I'm inhaling, I'm actually relaxing my abdomen to allow space into the diaphragm. When I'm exhaling, I am using my abdominal muscles, theoretically unconsciously, to push air out of the diaphragm. And this way, you're actually only exerting force on half the cycle. You can take in air for free. It takes no effort to inhale. Just let your belly loose. And I mean all of it, like, all the way down to what the German opera singer Spalbeck calls the Tiefgrund, the deep ground, down into your groin even is how much you can relax to maximize the amount of free air you're getting for no muscular effort. Obviously, we want to minimize muscular effort as much as possible as artists and musicians if we want to play gracefully, and we don't want to play as if we hate ourselves and our instrument. So, connect. Let me give you a good angle on this. Connect, simply connect. Stiffen the fingers. Observe the difference. Now, exhale. Exhale all at once, or inhale all at once. There you go. So hopefully your fingers, you have to play with it a little bit, but your fingers will be nice and naturally relaxed. And I mean really relaxed. Like you could take a nap like this. And now we have this position. And now we're going to bounce the elbow around again. It helps to gently grip the forearm and wiggle your shit around, dude. And now, keeping that tip of the thumb in contact with the first knuckle joint of the middle finger, flop your hand around. Observe. Just observe. The only conscious action that you need to do here is using your left hand to move your forearm. I have to relax my shoulders. Now I like to sync up my conscious action with my deliberate conscious action with my inhale or with my exhale. I'm using my abs to sort of make a point of focus, remind myself what I'm doing. I'm focusing, I'm doing something. If I'm doing something, my abs are involved somehow. If I'm not doing something, that is, I'm resetting, I'm letting go, all the way down to the deep ground. Okay. And now we've got this, hopefully. So one thing that'll fuck you kind of is trying to hold your thumb in one position, like straight. This adds tension. So the thing to learn here is to allow your thumb to flex with this flopping motion. Imagine your thumb is a wet piece of spaghetti, and it just happens to be sort of adhered to that first middle finger joint. It just happens to be stuck there, and it's flopping around with everything else. It's not stuck in a curved position or a straight position. It is loose, pliant, elastic. It should feel quite pleasant. Okay, so now you've done that. After you've done that, you can graduate. After like 5 minutes of doing that and nothing else and just observing this, you're allowed to think about lunch, but that's it. I don't want you thinking about anything else but lunch and observing the wrist feeling, the motion, along with fingers. You can extend your awareness all the way down to the tips of your fingers, through the wrist joint, into your elbow, up into the shoulder. Ideally, be aware of it all at once. Practicing, I like to say, is just about finding new things to become aware of. The condition of an inexperienced player is the condition of dull awareness. The condition of an experienced player is that the experienced player has become habituated to awareness of more and more and more. And eventually they no longer have to intentionally try to be aware of all these different things. It just happens. It's kind of like learning to read. Like when you're starting out learning to read, you are aware of individual letters, and you have to piece them into words. And then as you become more and more fluent with the alphabet and the fucked up phonetics of the English language, you start to, you kind of forget, you're still aware of letters. You can like dive into highly concentrated detail if you want to, but you become less aware of the letters and you become more aware of the words. You become aware of new things. You become aware of new and more nuanced relationships between words and collections of words and so on. Now, with language, you have sort of a linear hierarchical progression of comprehension. But with something more holistic like music, it's more like you're expanding. You have like more directions of territory to explore and become aware of, and learn to maintain awareness of. So perhaps it's not the most apt analogy, but it might help you. So you've done this for a little bit. You have this feeling of the thumb gently adhering to the first joint of the middle finger. By first, I mean closest to the tip of the finger. That's what I mean by first. You're flopping around. You no longer have to. Now you're using your muscles a little bit, and this makes it a little trickier to be relaxed in the wrist. And maybe sometimes your thumb will come unglued. Well, that's perfectly all right. Now it's just a process of remembering to breathe. Keep your thumb there. Allow the thumb to bend. Release tension. Something really worthwhile to note is that tension naturally accumulates, and being in the condition of being loose isn't like it's not a permanent type of thing. A loose person is simply in the habit of releasing their tension regularly, automatically. A tense person just accumulates tension and does not dissipate it. This causes problems in their personal life, as well as in their musical life, or whatever they're doing. Having a stiff body pretty much fucks you across every axis of being. So don't be stiff. I mean, you're made of meat. So now you can do this. Now we're going to introduce the bow. And what this Russian fellow taught me is, and this is before, you should just do this without even trying to play the violin, by the way. Don't reach for the bow, because this will trigger automatic habits of muscle tension, which we are trying to evade. We're trying to become more aware, more deliberate, and we are trying to sneak around tension rather than throttle it to death. So, place the bow right here. See if you can see this. The same middle finger joint that we've been working on. Simply hold the bow. Move the bow to your hand, not the hand of the bow. Because likely you're in the habit of accumulating tension. It's a bad habit. Whenever you're anticipating grabbing something. Instead, place the hand between finger and thumb. The tip of the thumb on one side of the bow, the middle finger joint on the other side of the bow. The tip of the thumb should be slightly lower than the middle finger. Maybe you can see this. This is probably not incredibly helpful, but I'm dramatizing. We're not looking for this, as basically you want to avoid having the thumb higher on the bow than is your middle finger. So here is okay. Here's a little better. Here's a little extreme, but that's a demonstration. And we're going to start out quite high on the bow. And ideally, you should take a few days in this exercise. And you're going to work your way, taking the bow all the way down until you can hold it right here with the same amount of tension as this. Equivalent tension, holding the bow all the way down here, which is difficult because now this is an imbalanced place in the bow. It's going to want to flop around. And what do we do when we encounter something that we can't control? We tense up. And it's over at that point. You might as well go home. have a beer, watch Stranger Things. Don't even try. So, start here for ease, and place the bow between the fingers. And now the trick is to hold it without trying to choke it to death. You're going to hold the bow, only using the friction of the bow naturally falling and coming up against your skin friction. That's pretty much it. And there's going to be this friction because the fingers are not placed opposite each other on the bow. They're like this, thumb lower than the middle finger. And what this does is this naturally adds a little more force to hold the bow, a little more free friction for you. So now you do this and bounce your hand up and down. And ideally, you're going to experiment with loosening up so much that you drop the bow. Oh my God, I've dropped my bow, my precious $120 bow. It's gonna break, it's gonna shatter. Relax, it's not gonna shatter. It'll probably land down here. And I mean, what are you practicing? Are you practicing over like concrete? No, man, you're gonna practice over a rug or some grass or something, and all will be well. You have nothing to fear from dropping the bow. Dropping the bow is an important part of this process of calibrating just how much tension you actually need to hold the bow and becoming floppy like a doll. Perhaps the title of this video should be How to Become a Violin Doll. Step 1, bow hand. No. And now, simply bounce up and down, paying attention to your fingers, your tension. Not much to do here, just play around. Flop your wrist around with the bow, and it's already getting all fucked up and wonky. That's okay. Reset tension, try it again. Again, don't reach for the bow. Place the bow between the fingers. Try it again. You're going to try this a lot. You're going to do a bajillion bounces. And maybe it'll be a test of character for you. Maybe you're going to want to vape and scroll Instagram Reels. Maybe you're going to want to have a pair. Maybe you're going to want to text somebody who you're a little bit anxious about texting, but for some reason you're compelled to do so anyways. Totally fine. Just reset your tension and try again. Humans learn naturally, it's just they often don't give themselves enough attempts to learn. And then maybe next day, go down a few more inches on the bow, try it there, notice what's different. I always advocate for more experimentation and comparison, trials and comparisons, the essence of thinking, or whatever the physical equivalent of cognition actually is. What does it feel like to bounce here? Reset. Move the bow into the fingers. What does it feel like to bounce here? Different? Harder? Easier? Who knows? Maybe it's more easy for you, I don't know. Gradually release the fingers. You can time this with a little like a partial tension reset, which means an inhale. See how loose your fingers can really become. Relax so much that you're scared of dropping the bow. See the bow as a wondrous material object that you don't understand at all. Allow yourself, if you can, to become filled with a sense of awe and longing at the fact that some people can produce incredible music with this instrument, despite the fact that it's borderline impossible to play. and even more impossible to play in a way that's actually enjoyable. The dirty secret of the violin is that it sucks. But like most things, it only sucks because you don't give yourself enough grace. Excellent. Okay, I'm going to actually try to release so much that I drop the bow. Oh, what a sound.